and welcome back to level 9 of Tomb Raider Remastered. This level is called, wait for it, the Tomb of Tihocan, another dark, gloomy, drowned level. This is what King Midas had locked deep beneath the Cistern. This is what he was trying to protect. The only thing standing in the way of us in the tomb now is Pierre, and it's the final race to the finish. We're going to start by pulling this switch over here to drain the water enough for us to be able to pull this switch. And the game is on to reach our prize. I've got to take a moment to remark at these textures. As you can see, totally faithful to the original vision, right? Same colors, same idea, but so stunningly realized now. We can tell very clearly these are like old, degraded stone with moss growing over the top. It's just really, really lovely work. They've added this beautiful light source pouring into the room here. Again, kind of going off the skeleton of the masterpieces we had it, but just enhancing it beyond what they could achieve in 1996. I was hoping to avoid that with a little more grace, but we've got some dart traps here. We haven't seen them since Peru, I think. Here that we've affected the water, like in the previous level, the Cistern, and we've flooded the base of the level here. So this block must have been hollow or lighter than the stonework and has actually raised with a water level, revealing this little guy over here. And allowing us to reach this little hole in the wall. Imagine how disgusting and stale this water would be after the centuries of stagnation. Now, this is the way forward, but we actually wouldn't make it all the way to the end in one breath. We need to go down here first and pull this switch. This is going to release a kind of propulsion current out of these vents over here, and it's going to carry us all the way to the other side. Check this out, this is really cool. Cool, right? Alright, we're going to be heading up there. Again, just want to remark about the textures to my right, how they've animated the moss growing over these warped, dilapidated stone. It's a really, really beautiful touch. And like I've said, the skeleton was there, but just, you know, what a glow up. Even this stonework here and these reliefs, like, they've added this, like, warped, peeling feel. It's just changed it, right? It was so sort of indistinct with these blurry, pixelated textures. And again, by no fault of their own, it was 1996. The game is still a masterpiece regardless. But it's just changed the feeling so much. Ah, and a welcome from Pierre. He was very aggressive in the last level. I think we're getting very close to the tomb. Even these steel teeth, the textures have been redone. Look at that. And the sparks flying off of them when they connect. Ah, what a nice touch. Okay, we're going to be careful, right? Let's grab ourselves a shotty, because we're in such close quarters, and we'll deal with him. Ah, how satisfying in one shot, right? We'll come down into this lovely little room. Well, not lovely. Dilapidated little room. Grimy little room. And we'll grab the goodies here. And the lovely little flourishes we saw in the previous level, the Cistern, continue here with these little puddles. Again, we never could do in the original graphic, but just a lovely little touch. You might have noticed this tile over here is very clearly a door. It's actually secret number 1. How do we open it? There's a couple of tiles in this room that are slightly off axis, and we've got a little bit of a different coloration. I know, how could you have told, right? But this is actually secret number 1. So we're just going to run over them. And you'll hear the door open behind me. Very sneaky. I always loved this little room. It's a secret that reminds me a little bit of the first one of St. Francis's Folly. You have to navigate these sloped blocks. I've got to take another moment to remark about this here. Like, look, it was sealed. It was a flat roof. They did not have to... I mean, they could have just put this porthole in and had just a flat roof. But the fact that they've gone to the trouble of animating arched stone just to give it that kind of extra flair, it really says to me that they've put a lot of loving effort into this remaster. You can actually see there's like a skybox behind that top grating there. It's just, again, it was a lovely little room. We didn't need it. The game is still a masterpiece, but it's just adding the light source, giving it that sense of realism, because this room would be pitch black otherwise. You know, I would have been, you know, happy just being able to play the classic Tomb Raiders on modern hardware. I never dreamed that they would go with this level of care and depth to try and bring it that extra step into the modern age. So we're just so thankful to the team for like giving these classics, and they are masterpieces, make no mistake, giving them their dues, because I really do think that this Tomb Raider is better than a lot of the Tomb Raiders that would follow. Alright, let's head on with a level. The swinging axe we haven't seen since Vilcabamba, I think. We'll just angle ourselves to get this little bit here. Some shotgun shells. Alright, we're going to attempt to get into this little hole here. It can be a little bit tricky. So I would walk up to just before the edge because the axe can still clip you. And it did me, and killed me, and I had to redo the level, sorry. I'll remark at this point about the level design. So we're actually just above the secret room that we were just in. I love the way the levels intertwine in Tomb Raider 1. Really great. Okay, so that switch, when we pulled it, actually filled that room with water. So we can hop in and continue on. Just up here. Sneaky. This level's very sneaky. I was waiting for that rat to dart at me and it didn't. Down into even grimier depths. Alright. We can actually see our little enemy combatants there, not quite activated yet. I wonder, can we snipe them? No. Alright. Hey, that's a limitation of 96. Don't come for it. If we come back here, there is a very hidden lever. I actually missed it the last time that I played through in the Croft engine. I was like, where do I go? The light pouring in from there and casting shadows in the corner, just lovely. And even the light sort of jutting out from under that hole, look. Totally devoid of it, super bright, huge difference to the level and to the atmosphere. We're going to come up here. Now, you can actually snipe these guys if you do standing jumps and just shoot them. I'm not going to do that because it's not quite as exciting and action-packed as me trying to get up there and not get pushed into the spikes. That light pouring in from that grating up there, that little skylight, we've seen it all throughout the remaster, but just continuing to do wonders. I'm going to carefully climb and grab onto this little crack here and shimmy across and not get impaled on the spikes below. Another golden key. I wonder if that was by Midas's hand. Do a running jump here, because your head will hit the ceiling and you won't make it in a standing jump, I don't think. Lara's beautiful shadow. Used to be a black dot. Oh wow, look at this room. So I'm pretty sure this was just a flat... Oh no, it wasn't. It was curved in the original. I will eat my words, but they've done such a lovely job adding these kind of peeping portholes here and that dangling like greenery and ivy, and it's actually just swaying so gently. It's so lovely. And of course the light hitting the water, creating that lighter tone. Gorgeous. Like I said, it was a masterpiece in its original form. They didn't have to go to all this effort for us, and they did. There's nothing to grab in that water, so we can just hop across these now floating blocks. Alright, now you can see that to progress, we actually need 2 rusty keys. Whole bunch of doors. Some curious looking touchpads here. Written what could be ancient Greek. Beautiful there, again. Totally bright, totally flat, suddenly ambient. How do we resolve this puzzle then? We're going to take this block, whoops, and we're going to move it on each of these touchpads here. Alright, so that one's open too. We'll get this one on the ground first. And it's a little hard to see in this new graphic, but this is the first key. Excellent. Let's keep moving the block around. Almost a small rat king there, a little quartet. Okay, and the final touchpad, which will hopefully bear us the final key. I kind of consider this little trial here, this little room, the final test to get to the Tomb of Tihocan. If we look carefully, there are ramps with boulders on each side. And that medipack, of course, is the bait. And there's the key over there. Let's just make a beeline for the key. Very good. Okay, and that is the final trials, the trials of Tihocan. We'll insert the keys into the locks here. And unlock the primrose path to the depths beneath. Gorgeous. This light just pouring in to this like very gravelly looking path. I advise you to save just here because secret number 2 is in the back left hand corner on a flat surface. So we're going to slide down and then about halfway through we're going to jump and tilt to the left. So about here. And we arrive here. This kind of reminds me of Vilcabamba a little bit. But we have to hop across these platforms to the very end. It can be a bit tricky with the analog stick, so just feel free to let go of it every time you land on a platform. Just like that. Alright, excellent. Let's head on down. So imagine that choral music is still going. And we'll slide down this ramp. It's a very different aesthetic at this depth of the tomb, right? We've got like this kind of sand beneath us, and we've got what looks like sediment, soil, all over the walls here. Again, really faithful to the original sort of color scheme and vision, but rather than it just being blurry patterns, beautifully realized. There's a switch up there. Right, so that's opened up an underwater door somewhere. We'll start by heading down into the little pool of water here. Alright, and we've arrived at this iconic vista. Very likely the Temple of Tihocan. As we can see, there's a beautiful beam of light coming out from behind that little bit of ivy there. Big difference from the original, which was a little bit more illuminated. And we can see these guys over here are totally enshrouded now in shadow, where they were very, very bright. But it's still quite clear that they are the centaur, the mythological Greek creature. Half a man and half a horse. And it's got a bow and arrow there. The temple is totally locked, of course. So we can see here that there's a little opening in the ceiling, which was not present in the original. There's even a little peppering of a little foliage at the top there, which is a nice touch. I do think that in the original, this felt more like it was buried very, very deep beneath the earth. I mean, we're underneath a cistern, which was underneath the palace. Whereas now it kind of feels like, well, we're sort of near the outside. That's the only thing that I lament a little bit, but everything else really beautiful. Well, in order to open the temple door, we're going to have to swim to where we opened the door that was underwater. I love how blue and kind of dark and damp this room is. If you have a look in the original, it was all quite illuminated and looked just like the rest of the level. But there's a real kind of darkness to it. It's really, really nice. Okay, there is the ancient temple door opened for the first time probably in thousands of years. Probably pull out the magnums for this abominable creature over here. And exploding into fiery, smoky debris where there was none, as you could see there when I switched. Seemingly alive horseman. Thankfully this one doesn't seem to be coming to life anytime soon. Let's head on inside. Wow. Really beautiful. Really, really faithful, but I love just how real this texture looks. It actually looks like painted. You can sort of see the brush strokes. Really, really nice comparative to this, you know, scattered pixel. And also the peeling of the lovely orange colour beneath. Ah, really nice. And these light beams, of course. Let's get our prize.
A little late for the prize giving, no? Still, it is the taking part which counts.
Do you love that phonetic spelling of Pierre's dialogue there? And this time it's for keeps. We finally foiled Pierre. He had the Scion and a golden key on him, and as we can see here, he pulled it off of this pedestal. Very faithful renditioning again in the remaster, down to the color scheme. We've got these blocks written in what we assume is ancient Greek. Beautiful. So, we've got the second piece of the Scion, which we've been competing with him now for like 4 levels to get. And we've also got a golden key, which Pierre found somewhere. The Tomb of Tihocan proper is just in here, or rather the burial chamber is in here. Currently locked, so we're going to have to find where to use this key. Well, we'll grab the goodies first. I think the red, like that crimson red at this point in the level, is a really nice touch, because the rest of the level has been very grey and blue and green. It really distinguishes the site as being hallowed or of great significance or importance. Alright guys, that is actually the end of the Tomb of Tihocan. Finally reached the second piece of the Scion and put down Natla's renegade adventurer. Let's go forth into the burial chamber. Please enjoy the cutscene.
Here lies Tihocan, one of the 2 just rulers of Atlantis, who even after the curse of the continent had tried to keep rule here in these barren other lands. He died without child, and his knowledge has no heritage. Look over us kindly, Tihocan.